Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Find Your Family History. This is a workshop being held by the City of Canada Bay Libraries. My name is John Johnson. I'm Local Studies Librarian at City of Canada Bay Libraries, and I'd like to welcome you all along. I would also like to acknowledge the Wongal people of the Eora Nation, the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today, and pay my respects to the elders past, present and emerging. So, welcome along. This afternoon we're going to be looking at doing your family tree, tracing your past, your family's past. We'll be looking at two databases that the library subscribes to, which you may already have heard of. One is called Ancestry.com and the other one is FindMyPast. At the moment, till the end of the year, Ancestry will be available from home for you to access. So you don't need to come into the library, you can access Ancestry from home, and I'm going to show you how to do that. FindMyPast is also available at home at the moment, at least until the end of September, and we suspect a little longer after that. So these are two good collections of records. They're useful for researching your family history, and I'm going to demonstrate each of these databases. FindMyPast in a little bit of detail, and then Ancestry in some more detail than that. So I'll start by showing you how to actually access them from home, and so I'll switch now to my desktop. Okay. So the way that you access Ancestry from home is you actually go to our library catalogue. The library catalogue is canadabay.spidus.com, which you'll find up here at the top left. If you can't remember that, if you can do a Google search for Canada Bay Libraries catalogue, it will take you there. So canadabay.spidus.com. From there, you actually need to log into the catalogue with your library card. So I'm going to demonstrate how to do that. So up here on the right-hand side, we have a login. If I click on login, you will see login using your library account, member number and password. So I have my library card, so I'm going to put the number in. And then I'm going to put my password in. If you don't know what your password is your date of birth in 8 digits. Day, month, and then 4 digits for year. So I'm going to put my details in here. And then I'm going to log in. And then you'll find that it has logged me in and it shows my account. We can now go back home again, and then if you have a look down here, you'll find some stuff about the library's strategic plan, and then below that you have Ancestry Library Edition Login. And what you do is you just click on that link, and that will take you to the home page of Ancestry. The other one, which is FindMyPast, we access that from our e-library page, and this is the library e-library page, canadabay.nsw.gov.au/libraries/e-library. So it's e-library. You can scroll down. There are a number of different things that you can access from here. We're going to go down to history and family history databases. And right down here we have FindMyPast, and then below that you will see that we have a username, which is canadabay@findmypast.com, and the password FMP2020. You don't need to remember that. You can actually go to the Canada Bay e-library page, and that one is available. So once you've logged in to FindMyPast, you should be able then to see a page that says something like this. I'm only going to do a bit of a demo of this one today. The reason for that is that we only have a limited number of seat licenses for FindMyPast, and it may be that if somebody else tries to access it, I won't be able to access it for you. So we'll just go in here and we will do a bit of a test. So we'll do a first name of Edith, surname of Walker, and a year of birth of 1861. And then we can just, this is the basic search for FindMyPast. We click on that. And you'll see then that this has given us quite a number of results for Edith Walker. Edith, you may have noticed, is spelled E-A-D-I-T-H, and her name, Edith Campbell Walker. She's probably best remembered in this area as the owner of Uralla, a wealthy philanthropist, and right at the very top here, you'll notice that we actually have a record set of Knights of the Realm and Commonwealth Index. And if you have a look on the right-hand side here, you can see that something that says View Transcript. So we will click on View Transcript. And you'll see on the transcript then that you have Edith Campbell Walker. The biography is the member of the Executive Council of the New South Wales Division of the Australian Red Cross. The birth year is 1861. The death year is 1937. And the award is a DBE, which is a Dame of the British Empire. So her official title from 1928 was Dame Edith Walker of Uralla, Uralla Estate. And did you know that, Alex?
No, that's really cool.
So,
you've just broken the fourth wall, John.
have I? I'm sorry people at home for breaking the fourth wall. Just pretend that didn't happen.
No, it's great. Good.
All right. So we will then go back. You will notice then that there's quite a lot of other records here. Most of these are not the Edith Walker that we're interested in. With FindMyPast, we can actually just do Australian and New Zealand records. So if I click on that one, and I'm honestly not sure what we're going to get here. So doesn't look like we've got a huge amount else on FindMyPast for Dame Edith Walker. We have one here, an E. Walker, on the Victorian coastal passenger list. That's possibly her. It maybe Dame Edith Walker. It may not. When I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, that's FindMyPast. So we can do a simple search like that, or we can actually do quite complex searches. If you notice, we can. So I've put in her Christian name, last name, a year of birth. I can also put in a year of death and see whether that brings us. I don't think that's going to bring us anything. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to bring us anything further for Edith Walker. So we might now pop across to Ancestry. Actually, I'll use this one. As I said, you need to log into the library, your library account. While you're there, of course, you can renew your books, you can reserve things, you can do all manner of things once you're logged into the catalogue. And so I find that is a really good tool. So I'll now do another search in Ancestry. And I won't do Edith Walker because we had a welcome to country. I thought I might have a bit of a look for some of the Wongal people, and probably the best known of all of the Wongals is Woolawari Bennelong, and I'll put New South Wales for records. So, and you'll notice that you start putting the name of a place in, and then you will actually often get search suggestions. So in this case, I just put New South, and I've got New South Wales, Australia. So we will see what we can find for Woolawari Bennelong. And the first search result that I'm getting there is actually a burial index. So what I will do is I'll actually open that one up. And it's a fairly basic record that actually includes a direct URL link to find a grave. So if I click on the Find a Grave link, you'll see that that's actually a link to some quite extensive information on Bennelong, some biographical information. It's unusual to get this amount of information for a Find a Grave record, but nonetheless this one's not bad. It includes an image of Bennelong, and it actually has a has a listing there for the burial, and you'll see there that it says non-cemetery burial, Cleves Park. You can actually do a view source there, and so you can see there that it was the record is maintained by Ancestral Sleuth and originally created by Bev in 2011. Yep.
So who populates it?
Now, Ancestry and FindMyPast both use. We might. Can we go back to me? And I'll talk to the camera. So Ancestry and FindMyPast both use a variety of different data sets. Some of these data sets are publicly available, so they use things from, say, New South Wales State Records, New South Wales Births, Deaths and Marriages. They also include other sources that have been compiled by a variety of different organisations. And a little bit later on, I will show you, well, actually, I can show you now, if I go back now to Bennelong, I can actually narrow that search down. You notice here on the left-hand side, you can filter by category. I'm going to filter by family trees. And you will see there that you actually have the very top result is a family tree result for Woolawari Bennelong. So if I click on that one, you will see that there is a family tree there for Bennelong. So you've got a place, you've got a birth of 1764, marriage, birth and death of his daughter Dilbung, death of his wife, birth of a son, death of a second wife, and death, and then the death of his son. So this is not this isn't maintained by Ancestry. This is actually maintained by an Ancestry member. One of the things you have to be careful of with family tree information is that it's not verified, therefore it might not be correct. In this case, the information on here is quite solid. But if I do another search, and I will do, I'll do another search for another Wongal man, and we'll see if we can come up with him. And if we go to all categories. Okay, here we go. Now, in this case, we actually have a find a grave index for Yemerawonyu. So we'll actually go into that one. And if I click on that, you will see there's a little biography, Yemerawonyu, the first Australian Aboriginal to visit Europe, well, along with Bennelong, a member of the Eora tribe. Governor Phillip brought him back to London in 1793 and he was presented to King George along with Bennelong. His headstone reads, "In memory of Yemerawonyu, a native of New South Wales who died 18th of May 1794 in the 19th year of his age." We have a number of images here, and earlier I was alluding to the fact that we don't necessarily take any of the information that we find here as absolutely correct without some corroboration. And the image that we've got here is not of a young man of 19 years of age. I believe that the image that's been attached to this one is another Aboriginal man, and his name will come to me in a minute, but this one is clearly not Yemerawonyu. The second image that we've got is a portrait of Bennelong, so that's not Yemerawonyu. But the third image is the headstone of Yemerawonyu, dating from 1794. And it will. So as you can see, when you're doing your family history research, when you're doing your family history research, you need to do more than just taking the information that you're given and accepting it as true. Because if the information may be correct or it may not be correct, what it does do for us though is that the information here, the information that we find in these family trees, for example, may actually give us a hint that we haven't got elsewhere. We need to check that information, but it certainly can be correct. But just because the historian's rule is that just because it's written down doesn't mean that it's true, and just because somebody says it doesn't mean that that's correct. So I always take any of these sources with a grain of salt. Even official records can be wrong. people's births can be registered with incorrect spelling of their name, for example. So it's we have to be careful whenever we're doing research to ensure that we don't follow the wrong branch and end up in the wrong family tree, which is quite a common one. So I think I will do a new search. How are we doing for time here? We're 4:21, so we've got another 10 minutes. So I'll do another local search in Ancestry. So we've got Frederick John Kelly, birth year of 1897, place is Sydney, and we will do a search. And I'm going to do another family tree here. Well, actually, we've got a few different ones here. Now, speaking through the fourth wall to the folks who are looking at me, does the name Frederick John Kelly mean anything to either of you?
I'm going to show my ignorance and say no.
If I said Fred Kelly, they're laughing here because the plaza outside Five Dock Library is called Fred Kelly Place, and Fred Kelly, when he died in 1997, was one of the very last surviving World War I veterans of New South Wales. I think Fred Kelly might have been the very last. World War I soldier from New South Wales. Council honoured him by naming the plaza in front of Five Dock Library on Great North Road, Fred Kelly Place. So Fred Kelly was born 1897 and he died in 1998. And I think was buried on what would have been his 102nd birthday. So if we have a look at the results that we've got here, you will see that we have World War I service records for Frederick John Graham Kelly, and I think that's him. Another service record, Frederick John Kelly, born 1893, I don't think that's him. This one, born 1896, I think is him, so he probably lied about his age. I think he was actually 17 when he joined up rather than 18. So we've got a few different service records, but we'll go to family trees for Fred Kelly, and we'll just have, and you'll see here that we have quite a nice one at the top. Frederick John Kelly, born 4th of January 1897 in Cogra, died 26th December 1998 in Abbotsford, New South Wales. Married in 1919. So we might go and have a little bit of a look at Fred Kelly's family tree. And the reason I thought this one was nice is because if we click on this, we can see we've actually got rather a nice photograph of Fred Kelly. So we'll go back and you will see birth, residence, birth of a couple of brothers, military, his marriage, births of children, death of his wife, and then his death in 1998 in Abbotsford. With the family tree, you can actually then click on the link to other people in the family tree. So you can go then from Fred Kelly to his brother John Kelly, who was born in 1873 in Bellary in India and died in 1950 at Uralla Street, Concord. And another nice photo and this is Fred Kelly's father, John Kelly. Again, we have to take all of the information on here with a grain of salt. If you are a member of Ancestry, if you have a paid membership of Ancestry, you can actually contact the people who have made these family trees, and you can actually get them to change information if you find something that's wrong, or if it's your family, they're going to be your relatives more than likely. You can't do that with the Ancestry from the public library. So you can look at this information. You can't put your own family tree together, but you can look at the information. So we're now just nearly 4:30. So
Do you have any advice to people who want to start putting their family tree together?
okay, so
Maybe you could repeat the question because of the audio.
oh, okay. So Alex has asked me whether I have any advice for people who are starting with their family tree. And I have a few pieces of advice that I like to give to family historians. The first piece of advice I have is always start with yourself. You are the person who hopefully you know the most about, although some people, when they start their family history research, find that in fact what they've been told about their past isn't necessarily entirely true. And so it's important to start with yourself so that you're not using information that you're not certain of. So, okay, so the first thing is to start with yourself. The second thing is to check and recheck and to ensure that you are not following a false lead. I know a lot of people who have spent a fair bit of time researching family history only to discover that they have made some really basic error right at the very beginning of their research.